Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 341. In today's episode, you're going to hear day 1 of 12, proving why you're a badass. We're unwrapping your badassery in the 12 days of badassery. And this is going to be a game changer. I already know it. Today is all about embracing fear and how you've embraced it in the past. So make sure you listen to this episode and that you download the free resource at ordinarytobadass.com/12, because that's going to be the companion guide. That's going to be the journal prompts, 12 days of badassery journal prompts, ordinarytobadass.com/12. Get your copy today because it's totally going to help. Listening to this episode, cool. But actually writing it down is going to cement it in your brain a whole different way. So make sure you grab that companion journal and do that today. ordinarytobadass.com/12. And now let's get to the episode.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I'm so glad you're with us. Today, all about embracing your fear. We are doing this 12 days of unwrapping your badassery because there's so many of us walking around not realizing that we're badasses, but you are. So welcome. I am so pumped for this. It's going to be an awesome 12 days. So get ready. Day 1, we are talking about embracing your fear and how that really helps you to embody the spirit of a badass. So today, let's talk about fear, specifically a time where you faced fear head on and you triumphed. I want you to think back to a moment where fear crept in and telling you to stay in your place, to not move, to not step out of your comfort zone. But what did you do? You stepped ahead anyway. You stepped out of your comfort zone and you did it anyway. Now that, my friend, is pretty darn badass. I think that's undeniable. So first, I do want to demunk. Okay. I don't want to demonk anybody. I want to debunk a common misconception. Words are hard today. About being a badass, because it's not about being completely fearless. In fact, I would argue that being a true badass is experiencing fear. It's feeling scared, but doing it anyway. Kind of like the great Ruth Soukup. She had a podcast called Do It Scared. It's so important to do it scared, to embrace fear and take action anyway. That's what makes your journey remarkable. Fearless, I don't know about you, but I'm probably not ever going to feel fearless. I'm always going to experience fear. It's just what I do with that fear. Do I push forward once I feel that fear, or do I always let it stop me cold in my tracks? That's up to you. But the badass part is you feel that fear and you do it anyway. To me, being fearless is like being a zombie, being a robot, somebody that never experiences fear. And if that's the case, you're never pushing your comfort zone. So I think the goal is to feel fear and take action anyways. So as we reflect on the past year and beyond, consider the instances in your life where you confronted fear head on. Maybe you had to deliver a presentation at work, or you got up the courage to ask your boss for a well-deserved raise, or having a difficult conversation with a friend or family member, a loved one. That is hard, right? Those moments, regardless of the outcomes, deserve acknowledgement. That takes true courage to do those things. We can't control what other people do. All we can control is what we do. So the fact that you did any of those things, and there's numerous other examples, right? But just where you confronted fear, you faced it, you did something. Maybe you had a fear of public speaking and you did that. Whatever your fear is, if you did something in your whole lifetime, I'm not just talking about yesterday or today, right? I'm talking about in the last week, in the last year, in the last X amount of years that you've been alive, right? All of those count. Write those down. They're important to help you realize what a badass you are. So I would say, even if the things you've done, if they did not unpack perfectly or play out the way that you wanted to, still give yourself a pat on the back. Because for one simple, profound reason, you took action despite feeling the fear. And that is huge, my friend. That is the essence of being a badass. So any example you can think of, write that down. Take a moment today and reflect on these instances, on all the times where you have felt fear and you took action anyway. Again, it can be something huge. It can be something like tiny, like microscopic. I do not care. You faced fear, you took action, that deserves to be written down. And remember, it's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear, being scared, and taking action anyway. So write those things down in your journal prompt at ordinarytobadass.com/12 and make sure you get it written down, because there is something that cements it in our brain more once you write it down. Listening to the podcast, cool. Writing it down, that's going to cement your badassery even further into your head to really help you to realize, like, yeah, I am a badass. Because even if you remember it today, you might not remember it tomorrow unless you write it down. So tune in tomorrow where you're going to hear day 2 of your badassery, or of the 12 days of badassery. And with that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass, and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.